Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of these Artify markers. This is the 108 set, and these are alcohol-based markers. I've been using these for about a month now, and as far as my background goes, so comparison-wise, I have tons of other brands of markers. These are all different brands, so I have a pretty good idea of what I like, things I look for in a marker. A few of the biggest benefits right off the bat with these, the price. They're like around 60 cents a marker, depending on when you get them, sales, stuff like that. And another big benefit with these is the tips. So that's the first thing I look for in a marker, is what kind of tip it has. I actually like these. They're pretty good. They flex, so there's a little bit of give to them, which helps with, blending and just the feel of the marker for illustration. I really like a nice flex to the tip. For instance, this brand of marker, which I think is around the same price or maybe a little more, there's like no flex. It's very stiff. So I definitely prefer a marker with a tip that flexes. Now, compared to like a Copic, which runs about $7 a marker. So it's kind of up to you to decide, if a little bit better quality tip is worth almost $6.50, difference in price depending on where you get them. But these, the quality of the tip is just a little bit better. I can get very fine with the Copics, and with the Artify markers, I still can get pretty fine. So the tip is pretty good. And like I said, it's a lot cheaper. Another really cool thing about these markers, which I didn't even think about when I got them. So here's the case. They come in a great case. A lot of the other brands come in these soft cases. And you can set this case down sideways like this, and they're great storage units for markers, like any brand of marker. They're awesome. So I just set it against the back wall. I might even get another one just to have all the cases for holding my markers. But that's definitely a cool benefit to these. You just set it down and you can see all the markers in front of you, which is really handy. So that's kind of a funny little thing that I actually like, is the actual case they come in. As far as the colors go, so I did all the swatches. So I draw on Strathmore Tone Tan paper, and what you're gonna get when you draw on Tone Tan paper is that brown shows through because markers are transparent, especially on the lighter colors. So really vibrant colors do really well on the Tone Tan. And you could see in this illustration, I used YR05 for this, the lighter red, and it's pretty dang vibrant on there. But you can definitely see a difference in the reds when you use it on just white. As far as like the quality of these markers go, I watched a video from 2018, and it was Artify markers, and they were completely different construction. They looked more like these Milo or Masters touch markers you get at Hobby Lobby. But from that video, it looks like they changed the tips. They definitely made some improvements, which is interesting because in the video I watched, they were really complaining about the tips. And they definitely made some changes to these brush tips that I definitely wouldn't have liked those older versions, but I like this one. So it's cool as a company, they're kind of listening to what people are saying and improving their markers. So that's a good sign moving forward. As far as the colors go, looking at this sheet, this is my swatch sheet. I always look out for like this R710 is a great shadow color. So when I'm modeling a character, I add shadows, and I like to use like violets, purples, and light blues and things like that. And those definitely work really well for that. So one of the other things I look at with a marker is the coverage. You don't want streaks. When you draw in your markers, when you're covering an area, you want it to be real smooth and finished. And I feel like these are really great at that compared to some of the other stuff you might see on the cheaper end of the market. Like you look at R405, I mean, that's beautiful. It's just perfect blend. And so they cover really well from what I can tell. I mean, I don't see a big difference in coverage with these and some more expensive markers. And really, like I said, what you're looking at here is paying 60 cents a marker versus like $5 and $6, $7 a marker. One thing about these though is I don't know if you can refill them. You might be able to, but at 60 cents a marker, I mean, that's kind of up to you. One thing I would say that I've noticed with these is, so the brush tip, I've noticed on a couple of them frays a little bit. I know this is more of like kind of like a felt tip a little bit. So you're gonna get wear and tear on these tips. So I don't know if you'd even wanna refill these versus buying a new one. One cool thing I did though on a few of them is you can actually pull the tip out and flip it around and push it back in there and get a fresh tip. So this is like a double-edged tip right here. And you pull it out, you just flip it around, and you have a fresh new tip if you do fray the end of your other tip. Now, having said that, some of the colors that I have that do have frayed tips, it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, if anything, it's kind of interesting because I can get the little fray edge will hold ink, and I can get pretty tight little details if I wanted to. So just an anecdotal kind of, something I've noticed is I feel like these markers, I don't know if they put more ink in them or what, but sometimes with my Copics and stuff, the ink or the marker would just dry out super quick. And I wonder if, since they're more of a high-end professional illustration marker, I wonder if they expect you to work on nicer papers. Not really sure, but I feel I haven't had a single one of these run dry yet, and I've been using them for, like I said, at least a month. And some colors, obviously, I use pretty heavy, but I mean, I've used them quite a bit to get a good understanding of them. And I feel like, yeah, I haven't noticed any of them dry out, but I swear sometimes with the Copics, if I'm heavy on a page, I'll have like 1 or 2 drawings suck up a marker. So I will say that's more of an anecdotal thing. I haven't tested it or anything, and I don't know, how the ink works on that, but I feel like the life of these as just a single marker seems to be pretty dang good. So I figured I'd give you guys a little demo of the markers. Like I said, I normally work on tone tan, but here's some white. So I picked out 4 markers to just kind of fill this one in real quick. I'm gonna start out with R710 right there to do some shadows. I'm gonna lay those down first. I'm gonna start under the nose like this, rim of the eye. This is gonna be real quick. Let's actually try out the chisel. I haven't even talked about the chisel edge at all. And I rarely use it. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure it works the way it's supposed to. I just like the brush tip so much better for drawing, probably just my style, but the chisel definitely has its uses for sure. I like to do backgrounds with the chisel when I don't want to define the background very much. Or it just gives you different angles too, like for the edge of the hair and stuff. It's kind of cool. Now for this guy, I'm just gonna pick out 4 different markers and kind of show you what these colors look like. I'm gonna use a couple of greens and then this CG08 for the darker color for like the mouth. And I'm gonna use the same R710 for my shadows on this one. So So this is a marker that I would say had that frayed tip because I've been using it a lot. And you can kind of see the tip gets a little bit frayed. But like I said, it doesn't bother me too much, so. So in conclusion to this video, you know, I'm sure you guys are just like, should I buy them or shouldn't I? As far as the markers I've tried from Amazon, the cheaper markers, these are definitely markers that I would recommend to anybody who really wants to, you know, have a good amount of markers to mess with. This set right here is like 60 bucks on Amazon right now. I'll have links, affiliate links below if you guys want to check those out. But I would recommend them. For sure. I mean, I enjoy using them. They give me colors that I like. I have finished drawings that I've enjoyed, that I felt like, you know, the markers definitely did their job. They worked great for me. I didn't spend $7 a marker, which that is a big deal because sometimes you're sitting there doing a drawing and you're like, I don't want to fill this whole thing in because it's going to cost me $7 to do practically one drawing. Now I know you can refill Copics, but you know, just as far as using these for sketchbooks, things like that, I think they're great markers and I would highly recommend them. So anyway, that's the video, you guys. I hope this was informative and yeah, thanks for watching and I will catch you guys later.